The Galien Foundation fosters, recognizes, and rewards excellence in scientific innovation to improve the human condition.
André Malraux said once in one of his novels, "Une vie humaine ne vaut rien, mais rien ne vaut une vie humaine." Human life is worth nothing, but nothing is worth a human life. All these men and women are trying to save human lives. Is there anything more noble than that?
The Galien Awards ceremony is considered the equivalent of the Oscars night for the innovators in the labs and awards every year Best Pharmaceutical Product, Best Biotechnology Product, Best Product for Orphan Rare Diseases, Best Medical Technology, Best Digital Health Solution, Best Incubator Accelerator Equity, Best Startup. Around the globe, the Prix Galien is considered as the equivalent of the Nobel Prize for the industry, mobilizing an unrivaled network of Nobel laureates and top biomedical scientists. The Galien Foundation manages an independent, cross-functional, and geographically diverse program of events and sponsorship to brand the best of the best in new medicines and diagnostics. The Prix Galien is a welcome initiative to stimulate creative research and promote excellence. Barack Obama. The Roy Vagelos Pro Bono Humanum Award for Global Health Equity is bestowed to an individual, a company, an academic institution, or a non-governmental agency that has helped to improve the human condition through the application of biopharmaceutical science to problems of developing or underserved populations worldwide.
This is the right event, on the right issue, at the right time.
Staging this event in Africa is a significant statement that science and innovation are needed as much here in Africa as anywhere else.
I'm particularly grateful to receive this award.
The awards are among the highest honors in science and commerce because they lead to improvement in the human condition.
The Prix Galien Awards recognize the world's brightest minds and most innovative companies. They are a true celebration of the hard work required to produce life-changing interventions.
That is what makes us optimistic about the future.
Congratulations to all of you.
Make a difference. Join the Galien Foundation.
Welcome to this Galien Foundation Week of Biomedical Innovation webinar, celebrating the best of the best in life sciences, innovation that improves the human condition. I am Stanislav Cverko, Head of Medical Intelligence and Technology at Novartis US, and I will be serving as chair and moderator of this 1-hour discussion highlighting the 21 nominated Best Digital Health Solutions in preparation for what has become a much celebrated annual event, the Prix Galien US Awards, to be held Thursday evening at the American Museum of Natural History in New York. We have developed this week-long webinar series to give all of our nominees, not just in digital health, but in pharmaceuticals, biotech, medtech, rare orphan diseases, best accelerators, incubators, equity investors, and best startups, the opportunity to gain more visibility in describing their long journey in medical discovery. Our work and yours will culminate with a presentation of winners at the awards on Thursday, a day that will also feature our annual Galien USA Forum of panels and speakers representing top scientific experts and leaders in global health. A few relevant facts. This year's Prix Galien US Awards has 153 nominees drawn from these 7 categories, involving some 141 companies covering 18 diverse therapeutic areas, ranging from cancer, cardiology, ophthalmology, metabolic disorders, and neuroscience, to infectious and very rare genetic diseases and vaccines. Many of these conditions will benefit from digital solutions that help patients manage their conditions. We will be looking closely at products in all 7 categories throughout the week. On a separate note of sadness, I wish to inform you of the untimely death of Mr. Bernard Pussat on May 1st. He was a leading figure in our industry and a strong supporter of the Galien community, serving as chair of the pre-Galien committee. He will be greatly missed. In digital health solutions category, which is our focus for today, we have three panelists, Ike, Jamie, and David, representing their companies that they worked tirelessly in bringing their technologies forward for recognition by Galien USA Awards Committee of Nobel Laureates and other distinguished leaders in science and industry. I'd like to ask each of our panelists to introduce yourself and your company, as well as the title, as well as a few words describing your association with the nominated products. So we'll start first. David, I see you first on my screen. We'll start with you first.
Hi, everyone. So my name is David Crowley, and I work as part of the partnerships team in Empatica. I'm honored to be here with my fellow nominees and panelists. So my role is to help work with industry partners who are looking to adopt our product and that we're here to speak about today, the Empatica Health Monitoring Platform, specifically in their clinical trials. There are a number of uses of our product, but the primary use, and the one which we will be discussing today, is to capture digital biomarkers derived from our wearable technologies.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for that. Ike.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Good morning. My name is Ikechukwu Arthur Anoke, founder and CEO of Zuri Health. And Zuri Health is a virtual hospital providing end-to-end solutions to provide access for healthcare. People be able to get access for healthcare and continuity of care. And for us, one of the key technology innovations is leveraging RPPG technology and AI to be able to screen and diagnose NCDs, diabetes, cancer, and diabetes, hypertension, etc. NCDs, contribute to about 40% of deaths in sub-Saharan Africa. And when we look at a continent where over 50% live on less than $1 a day, leveraging technologies like that to help early screening and also providing access to continuity of care is one of the things that we're very proud of what we've done at Zuri Health, and we're willing to talk more about it tonight, this morning, depending on where you are. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. And Jamie, over to you.
Amy Stern, Senior Director of Clinical Strategy and Operation at Viz.ai. Viz.ai is a care coordination artificial intelligence company that builds software solutions for deployment in health systems. We range in a number of medical devices on the market today across neuro, cardiovascular, pulmonary disease, et cetera, and really expanding throughout the whole human body of trying to bring AI into the hands of physicians to get patients on treatment faster and quicker. The product we're talking about today is for Viz hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, or Viz HCM. It's a product under my portfolio, and I'm really excited to talk about how this product was deployed in the market. So pleasure to be on this panel with my fellow panel members. And Stan, I'll turn it back over to you.
Thank you so much for that, Jamie. So there will also be an accessible link, that what we like to call 100 words on statement, that will be from the different companies, so that to give you a little bit more details. This link will be made available during the webcast, so simply click on it when you see it, just to get a little bit more insights as well. This webinar also includes some time for the audience to ask questions. You can state your questions and forward it to the moderators using the chat tool on your screen. So if you guys can have a look at that, please keep the questions flowing. The more we engage, the better these conversations are going to be going. So highly encourage you to do that. So let's move right to our discussions. So what I would like to do is ask each one of you of our panelists, and representatives, to kind of give a 5-minute kind of highlight of your digital solutions, and then address. We'll kind of go into a few questions that we have prepared for you guys to answer. So maybe we'll start first with who wants to kind of give a quick 5-minute highlight of the key features of the digital solutions that you have. So maybe we'll go same order. David, we'll start with you again.
Perfect. So here I'm to talk about the Empatica Health Monitoring Platform. So the platform itself is FDA cleared, and it is full stack. It is used primarily to facilitate remote patient monitoring and the capturing of digital biomarkers for clinical trials and research. Our platform consists of multiple components. The initial piece is our medical grade wearable, the Embrace Plus. Any of our keen viewers may notice I'm wearing it on my wrist. As I start to speak more with my hands, you'll see it make an appearance. There is a mobile application known as the Care app, and then there's a cloud-based infrastructure known as the Care portal. This platform is optimized to collect physiological data from study participants. And we built this product so that we could gain a deeper insight into somebody's well-being in a less subjective and more continuous fashion, providing researchers with a plethora of data as they conduct their own clinical trials and research. As a platform, we offer over 200 different measures that are continuously captured. These measures can vary across vital signs, such as your pulse rate variability, your blood oxygen saturation, your respiration rate, or your skin temperature. They could be across movement, such as your daily activity levels and the intensity and classification of that movement. It might be across your sympathetic nervous system output. This is done through our proprietary electrodermal activity sensor. This looks at changes in your skin conductance level to try and get an insight into a participant's psychophysiological state. It can also be used to measure sleep, such as sleep quality and efficiency, and features related to gait and spatiotemporal gait analysis. Depending on what a clinical trial is looking at, we work with our clients and our partners to help them understand what measures may be potentially of benefit to them and to their research, and we tailor the platform accordingly. In addition to our platform, we also help with the development of new algorithms, and this is done through custom research projects. An example of this would be our respiratory infection algorithm, which received CE marking in 2021, and our ongoing work with the US Department of Defense for the monitoring of post-traumatic stress disorder through digital means in active military and veterans. As well as our product that we're speaking out here, we do also have a direct-to-patient product that you may see. I'll explain a bit more detail as we go through why that's important, but that is used by patients to potentially monitor convulsive seizures in epilepsy.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for that, David. Ike, over to you.
Thank you very much, and thank you, David. Essentially, we will look at inclusive tech, and it is important that maybe I go back to the reason why we're doing it. Africa bears the highest disease burden in the world, and when we look at 2% insurance penetration rate, the fact that 40% deaths are NCDs, which are preventable diseases, and the fact that the doctor-patient ratio is a doctor to 10,000 people. Essentially, we are looking at solutions where we are able to build technology, both smart and non-smart, to be able to tackle some of those issues. And part of it is what we a convergence of AI technology, on our outreach technology, face recognition, being able to use it to screen for diabetes, hypertension, but also most importantly for people who do not have access to smartphones, which is about 65% of the population, an opportunity for them to get first-level medical consultation, leveraging a basic text message. So look at it like a WebMD on text. Essentially, what we've done is to be able to build this together to allow people who have chronic conditions to seek continuity of care, support, and access to doctors, especially where you don't have doctors in remote areas. So look at areas of conflict, areas of lack of infrastructure, people there, but they have a mobile phone. The opportunity for them to be able to leverage that piece of technology, say mobile as a new hospital, to be able to connect with a specialist who is in the next city is part of what we've done. Now, leveraging AI, using RPG technology allows these patients to be able to screen for screen and get their HbA1c, blood saturation level, high blood pressure, etc., and feed that to the doctor. Essentially, the thing is that it makes it so cost effective, because if I were to do that full wellness test, it will cost me about $45, $50. Now, when you look at people who live on less than $1 a day, you see the impact. So for us to provide that service to less than $1 for people in the served communities makes that a safe $49, which could be channeled into buying a medication, leading to what we'll call efficacy of care, making sure that people have continuity of care and don't drop off of care. So essentially, leveraging, like we said, technology, smart and non-smart, provides an opportunity for people in underserved communities or low middle income countries to be able to access health and provide for health equity. Thank you.
Thank you, I appreciate that. And Jamie, over to you.
Okay. HCM is a program designed to support health systems in early identification, diagnosis, and management of hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, which is a rare and complex and often underdiagnosed heart condition. As a company, Viz uses advanced AI-driven software, as I was mentioning earlier, to analyze imaging data in a variety of different modalities. In this particular case, we're talking about AI-powered ECG detection, and flag these potential cases for HCM for further follow-up by the healthcare providers within the care continuum. By automatically screening for this process, the software tool aims to streamline the identification of high-risk patients, improving clinical outcomes, and reducing the time to diagnosis overall. Viz HCM is an AI-powered ECG care coordination solution that received de novo clearance or approval from the FDA. Our tool is the first of its kind to detect HCM on the market and establish a new regulatory category for machine learning notification software for cardiovascular disease. So how it works in theory is, and in the wild, is it works to detect subtle waveform patterns associated with the disease process itself, identifying these patients much more earlier upstream in their care process, because ECG is a first-line cardiovascular test typically done as soon as the patient enters the health system. Because ECG is upstream, affordable, and very accessible, our solution can be seamlessly integrated directly into routine care pathways, whether that's in a health system setting, whether that's in an outpatient clinic, whether it's in a mobile unit. So you really have the broad breadth of being able to screen patients for this cardiovascular disease. The solution itself takes the ECG AI algorithm partnered with our care coordination tools on a software medical device. It's an app that sits on a mobile device or a web platform, web accessible application. And so partnered with the AI, the physician and the healthcare providers really have access to other features like HIPAA compliant tooling, referral management, tracking patients longitudinally by extrapolating EHR data mapped against the AI-driven algorithm detection of whether positive or negative cases of HCM appear. So within this continuum of a product, you really have a full suite of offerings for the HCP such that they can take care of that patient right when they need to when the patient enters the health system.
Fantastic. So Jamie, let's stay with you, right? And we'll kind of build off on this. So why did your company choose to focus on this on the disease state and the indications associated with the new digital technology? In what ways did the solution represent a therapeutic breakthrough, and how significant was the level of the unmet medical need?
Yeah. So HCM today, in its diagnosis presence, there's about 80% of the market that's untapped today. So the prevalence is 1 in 500 patients are out there. And most of these patients, about 50% of these patients, take about 5 years for their diagnostic pathway. So there really is, in terms of the market and the penetration, there's a large amount of patients that are out there for us to screen and get on this application holistically. And when we think about looking at inpatient or outpatient networks of disease, cardiovascular disease as a portfolio offering is the largest TAM addressable globally. So for Viz, this was an entry point into the outpatient space where we really felt like we can make an impact. We've been able to successfully showcase in the inpatient hospital setting with more acute diseases. And this was really our first entry into the outpatient space where we felt like we can really make a difference. In terms of challenges today on the disease process, HCM is unique in that it mimics other cardiomyopathies and other cardiovascular diseases on the market, making it really challenging to actually diagnose these patients. Their journey, like I said, can take upwards of a few years to even get that diagnostic report out. And so when you're looking at this level of data mapped again, how easy it is to get affordable ECGs in the market, it really allows us to take upstream screening into the health system more affordable, more aware. It makes the HCPs willing and able to track these patients. And you could really capture the market more than probably most other cardiovascular diseases today. So we really felt like it was an avenue to make a breakthrough. And then there was no AI-powered ECG algorithm currently today for HCM. So in terms of a technological advancement, it really allowed us to entry into a market and really set the precedent for other technologies in the space by setting that new category with the de novo.
Fantastic. Thank you, Jamie. So David, I'm going to ask you the same question. So why did your company choose to focus on this disease state? with Empatica, right? The indications associated with the new technologies that are kind of coming out, and in what ways did the solution represent a therapeutical breakthrough, and how significant was the level of unmet need, medical need?
Yeah, so Empatica actually is quite a different backstory in that, the product I'm speaking about today was not the original product that we founded. What we actually started on was in a more direct to patient type market, whereas what we're discussing here is more for kind of clinical research and pharmaceutical companies. But our first product, which is still on the market today, is a wrist-worn wearable that has a proprietary algorithm that we developed to detect possible convulsive seizures and notify a patient's caregiver within seconds. To this day, it's still the only FDA-cleared wrist-worn wearable with this indication. So when we kind of talked about, this product that we have now, we've actually taken a step back from that specific disease state and made it a bit more agnostic. The idea being is that we wanted to build a platform that could be modular and could be used by companies to then further go down into their specific disease states. So we wanted a bit more flexibility for them to be able to do that. So while we focus on retrospective data analysis across a wide number of therapeutic conditions, we also help our clients to help further divide those down. So there's 200 measures available, as I mentioned, but not every measure is going to be used in a trial. But we work with our companies to specify and to further analyze and research that. An example of how we've used this outside of the direct-to-patient model is in 2021, we created a respiratory infection algorithm. So that was used to help detect evidence of an infection even prior to the onset of symptoms in over 90% of positive cases. So when we think of kind of unmet therapeutic need, that came out in 2021. I think we can all remember what 2021 was like. Having a solution that can accurately and reliably use data that's captured passively, again, through a wristwatch that you put on and go about your normal day, but also has knock-on effects and can analyze to kind of give a risk rating of how likely you are to develop a certain condition, that can have huge benefits if you're working, in a hospital system and you have an intensive care unit where, HCPs are being exposed to infectious diseases. Knowing that they are potentially infectious before their symptoms arise can help them isolate and quell that spread of infection. So while the platform itself is agnostic, there's kind of a limitless view in terms of what you can use to subsequently use these measures to detect different indications and different use cases.
Fantastic, David. Thank you so much for that. And Ike, over to you. It's the same question. So why did your company choose to focus on the disease state and indications associated with the new digital technology? In what ways did the solution represent a therapeutic breakthrough, and how significant was the level of unmet medical need that you were addressing?
Yes, the unmet medical needs was very significant, like I mentioned earlier, which is that 40% of deaths on the continent are due to NCDs. It's also very important to mention that when you're looking at Africa, you're looking at the fact that half the population live in underserved communities who do not have access to infrastructure of hospitals or doctors. But however, positive. In Kenya, for example, there's a 1 of 9 mobile penetration rate. Every household has a mobile phone. So the Zuri Health solution is very simple. Leverage on existing technologies or existing to build out solutions that can help ensure that people have access to screen. And we decided to tackle NCD. By deploying our PPG technology using facial recognition, patients are able to screen and screen for their sugars, get their HbA1c, get their blood pressures, etc., oxygen rate, full general wellness test. And in doing that, it triggers a response that goes to a doctor who then is able to put some prescription and put them into what we call our continuity of care program, where they have access to management. Because essentially, if you do not lower the barrier for access to health, they won't screen. And fortunately, when most of them are found out to be, the situation is dire. And again, the challenge is that most families on the continent are one NCD crisis away from bankruptcy. So when we look at these issues, we look at how do we tackle how do we build and solve for Africa? How do we tackle our issues and look at focusing on preventative care? And we've bundled that into what we call our continuity of care program, leveraging on our RPG technology, focusing on CD. And the impact has been massive. Impact has been massive. And at this point in Kenya, where we've had over 40,000 people onboarded on the continuity of care program, that it costs them less than $1 to be able to screen for the multiplicity of this tests using their mobile phone, and leads us to the conversation we keep having, which is the mobile is the new hospital.